Color choice is a big decision in life, and it comes down to maybe your hair color, your shirts, well, even your vehicles. Hey, welcome to this edition of Road Warrior. I'm your host, Grant Roberson. Now, we've tested many vehicles, and really we've had the basics, the standard black, the silvers, and the whites, but sometimes you have to go with kind of a bold choice, and that's what we have this week in the 2015 Chevy Colorado. The color specifically Rally Yellow, and this is the Z71 off-road package, and even more so, it is the Trail Boss Edition. Now what I like, well, this one really set it off. Now we had a Colorado a few months back. It came in kind of that standard red, had similar appointments, but didn't have all the off-road we'll get into in a minute. And the biggest difference really was the wow power. A lot of people stopped us, wanted to know about the vehicle, so it really came down from the start, right from the color. The Boss Edition package runs about $3,200 and has a lot of the extras that we're going to show you in a minute. And where it starts, well, at the corners with these nice off-road wheels. Now these obviously aren't standard, and it's one of the first times we've driven off-road wheels like this. And the one thing we noticed, well, it can definitely go off-road, but it also gave you a lot of noise when you're on the pavement, and that's to be expected. Now what we see here specifically 265, 65, R17, so they're decent wheels, but got a lot of rubber. Now also in this package is the step rails. Now those are nice tubular, 2 steps by each door, and we've seen these. Now the only thing about this kind of mid-sized truck, are they needed, are a little overkill? Possibly, because it really doesn't require that to get in. But what I did notice is when you use them, heck, you stay out of the mud, and it gives you just a little extra lift. One thing when you want off-road, you want a little bit of body protection. With this bright yellow, well, we don't want to add any dings. Now where those step rails are, that's going to help you with the rocks and kind of any incidentals. Around the wheels themselves though, you want some nice body protection like this. Now what I also like is there's some nice flares out here, both in the front and the back. Now some of the trucks these days are going nice and sleek down the side. Instead here at the doors straight, as we sweep down, get a little bit more curvaceous. Looking at some of the other appointments, what you're going to see is nice black cladding here, rubber on the truck bed. Now again, that's going to help protect this vehicle. Throwing your gear in, you don't want any scrapes and dings. Now sweeping down the vehicle, again, you got the nice wrap here, down there, and it ties in with the front fenders. You also have matching black accents around the windows. You don't want chrome here on this particular model because, heck, it's rugged, not pretty. Now looking for the driver's mirror, what you're going to see is a 2-mirror system. The old standard big one, and kind of a small blind spot up in the top left. Now I'm a big fan of kind of the blind spot awareness, and this takes it kind of a little bit more old school and doesn't give you the technology part, but at least gives you the awareness. Sweep around to the front of the Colorado. One thing you're going to notice, that's got a big prowess to it. A lot of people get confused thinking this is actually a bigger truck than mid-size. Now what we look at is grill warfare, and I like the fact that we bring the black accents right across here, specifically right here on this grill. Now one thing to note, this typical bow tie that's got a gold accent instead is blacked out to match the rest of the vehicle. Now looking at the rest of the front end, nice wrapping of body color contrasting with the black, and we do have a little bit of chrome again right here on the headlights, and we do have fog lights tucked way down low. Last is the underskirting, way down low, again appointed in black, and again keeping kind of mud to a minimum, slinging down there. One quick note before you sweep around the back is the good old gas fill-up. Now you'll notice it's got a fairly big housing. It's right here by the driver, making fill-ups a lot quicker. Now one thing to note, it doesn't require a handle switch like we find in some vehicles, but it's simply a press and open up. Now it doesn't lock with the vehicle, instead it's kind of always open to the elements. Now it's got the old typical twist cap, which is to be expected on kind of a rugged vehicle. They're going to want you to work even here at the gas fill-up. Now sweep around to the back to look at the cargo box. Swing around to the back, what you're going to find here on this particular crew cab is the short box. Now that's 5'2". If you go with the long box, that's going to be an extra foot. Now looking at the rear end, again, you're going to see nice black cladding up here, good old handle, and that bow tie we talked about earlier, and a nice huge rear bumper with good step. Now one thing Chevy does well is puts a step here at the corner, allowing you to get quick access when you need it. Now a lot of tailgates kind of fall into place but not here on the Colorado. You simply pull the handle and it eases right down. Now once it's open, we're just going to see a little bit of gear we threw in and that nice spray-in bed liner. Now between the wheel wells, you're looking at about 44 inches, which means a kind of plywood won't slide in, but instead it's going to slide above. Plenty of room, and again, that durability with that spray-in. When you go off-road, there's one thing you don't want to do is feel the road harshness, but instead be in comfort, and it all starts on the inside. Now what you're going to find is decent leg room, a whopping 45 inches up front, and not too bad in the back, around about 35. Now what's that mean? It's so much room up front, you actually slide those seats forward, giving the people in the back really about 37 to 39 inches. This truck shines on the inside just as much as the outside, and it comes down to the creature comforts. First thing is the MyLink touchscreen system on the dash. Nice oversized screen, pretty much everything housed right there at the touch of a finger, with minimal controls and buttons to clutter the dash. Now when you look at the gauges, well, it's going to be standard analog tach and speedometer, but with a nice digital readout in between for your speed and various information. Now on the steering wheel, typical controls for the cruise and for the entertainment system, easy to use, and again, right down to comfort. Once you're in this vehicle, it's hard to remember you're in a truck. Below the entertainment system, you're going to find the climate controls, and I like this particular setup. You see on a lot of vehicles, it's a little bit of an upgrade. Now there's not dual zones up front, but you do have the equal size fan speed and temperature select mode with that digital temperature readout. Real nice and sleek, and the mode buttons all in between. Now below those are a couple various settings for the vehicle, for tow mode, downhill descent, and other selections. Now below that is the optional heated seats. Now they do have the full heated seat or just the back. Now right below that, nice little niche, USB connections, and just maybe a little bit of storage for your incidentals like my pack of gum. What I like about these seats is their leather sport cloth kind of combination, making sure any mud's going to be easily wiped away. Now this is going to be a 3-person setup in the back, and all the seats are pretty much equal with a little bit of niche here on the side. And again, legroom numbers are really great back here. Now there is connectivity just in case you're off-roading and need to connect your USB. Well, that's right here on the center console with some power. Now lastly is transforming this from people to cargo, and I like the setup here, plenty of room, but just in case, you can pull the little handle here, it's going to tumble forward. Now one thing to note, you'll have to dip these down to make sure it's got a flat setting. Otherwise, you've got a nice platform here for interior storage. That does for this edition of Road Warrior. Now test drive behind the wheel of the 2015 Chevy Colorado Z71 Off-Road Edition. Now again, it has plenty of kind of get up and go with that V6, decent off-road tires, and of course, well, those step rails and that overall prowess that delivers. Now not to mention color choice, which comes down to that yellow, which drew a lot of attention. Now again, we'd like to thank you for watching this off-road edition of Road Warrior. Keep both hands on the wheel and eyes straight ahead.